This isn't going to be your usual vlog on our channel. This is for the Novo Nordisk Patient Assistance Program, their application process. I'm going to make this short and quick because this has been going on for a little over a year and there's been a lot of paperwork faxed around. Long story short, September 27th, 2019, we faxed in the first copy of the insulin to Novo Nordisk. The doctor's office faxed it. So when I called 2 weeks later to check the status of it, and they said that they didn't receive it. So I was like, what? I was like, there's identifying information on this form. You could steal someone's identity with these forms. And they said, well, can you fax again? I said, sure. So I called the doctor's office and told them to refax it, and they did. And see, all of these faxes, I told them to write on the papers every time they fax them. And so that time they did receive the fax. And I can't remember if it was a man or a woman. I'm just going to call them they. They said there was a few things wrong with the form that needed to be corrected by the doctor and faxed back in. So we went down to the doctor's office and took the application out of his folder, fixed what needed to be fixed, faxed it back. I waited another week and called, oh, we didn't receive the fax. I called back to the doctor's office and I said, look, can y'all fax that application again? And the office manager was like, what in your world are they doing? They're not getting these faxes? Why? So I said, I don't know. I said, I just want this out of my hair. So I think we ended up faxing this application, the first one. I think there had to be at least 15 times. And out of that, probably 4 they received. The others, they said, we didn't get the fax. And it kind of made me mad, but then they were like, oh, okay, well, he got approved. So on the second one, I called again. I think this is the end of January, because we knew it was going to be a lengthy process. So we went ahead and started early on another refill. And I told them that when I called. And they were good with it. So, but this time, the endocrinologist had retired. So we went to our primary doctor and we let her handle it. Well, there was a few things that she messed up on that application. I didn't say anything. I took the first application to her office and I told her, I said, look, just mirror each of these papers. Just take what's on this one and write it on this one. I was like, that's it. I said, because they said that this is the application that he got approved, so just copy and paste is what I was calling it. So we went round and round again with that. And this time I lost my cool. So by then the pandemic had started. And I get that. I understand it. Everybody was just in a frenzy. But when I called the Novo Nordisk company and I'm asking about the status of an application, when I asked the lady about it, when I gave her the information, she just sat there. And I was like, hello? And she said, oh, hey, what can I help you with? I was like, I need to check the status of, well, my husband's next refill. And she said, oh, okay. She said, well, just let me check. I said, okay. So I sat there another 5 minutes and I said, hello? And she said, what? I was like, excuse me? And I said, I just want to check the status of my husband's application. Well, she said, kind of like she stepped away from the phone and she said, Well, the good thing about working from home is that you don't have to give customer service. All you got to do is just say a few words and you can hang up on them. And I was like, whoa. Mm-mm. So I called Novo Nordisk and asked for a supervisor. And I got a hold of her, and her name was Miriam. But before that, I had went on Facebook, on the Novo Nordisk Facebook page, and I blew them a new rear end, telling them how their application process is. It's dirt. But it was, oh my gosh, it's probably about 2 feet long, the post was. And I didn't realize that other people were having the same trouble as we were. So we kind of connected and made our own little Facebook group to where we can give, ideas to help or updates or anything. And so I asked for a supervisor. And no, I take that back. When I put that post on Facebook, someone from Novo Nordisk has sent me a message. And she called me, and her name was Miriam. And she said that she's the program manager. And I told her how bad the process is. I told her, I said, 99% of the time, the reps are telling us that they did not receive the fax. I said, what is the issue with that? And she's like, I don't know. And I told her, I said, plus, I said, you're in the middle of a pandemic here. I said, there's doctors that has moved their offices to not get their office infected, is the word I want to say. So they just moved to another satellite office. Thankfully, our doctor wasn't one of them. So I told Miriam, I said, you tell me exactly what needs to go in this application to get it approved. And she looked down through it and everything. She said that with this last application that we sent in, the 3 things, it's ridiculous. It says it needs a fax cover sheet, and on that has to be the doctor header, facility address, the fax and phone number. Second, the fax number has to match the doctor's office. So if they're faxing back and forth, it has to go from the same fax machine phone number as all the other previous times. It can't be like from a different number. And third and lastly, it has to say max 53 units, inject 53 units daily once. Same for Novolog, or quote unquote both. So he was running low on his insulin, and I have put it on that Facebook post that he is a liability to them now because of this crappy application process. And so she sent me to a website where I downloaded and got a free one-time insulin refill so he didn't run out. And so I was good. He got his new shipment. And Miriam told me, she said, if you ever have any trouble, the ones that she handles, she is required to return a customer's phone number within 24 hours. Because I got it right here. Right there. And I made sure as I was hearing her, I was also writing it down. So beginning in January 9th this year, we got the refill on May 27th of this year. So now he's running low again and needs another refill. Oh my God, people. We are again getting told that they didn't receive the fax, or this was filled out wrong, or that was filled out wrong. So the doctor's office that we see is a very busy office. And I have notes from here, from the doctor's office, when they call Novo Nordisk to let me know what they said. We started this on October 25th. And to this day, whatever the date for today is, 20th or whatever, we're still at it. Wednesday, I called and requested for Miriam to return my call. And the lady that I spoke with, she's like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "Well, Miriam made it sound like that all I had to do was call the 844-668-6463 number and ask for Miriam, and she'd be on the phone in a few minutes." Well, the girl that I was speaking with, the rep, she had no idea who that was. And I said, well, I was like, Miriam told me that she is the program manager. And she was like, "I don't know." And she said, "Do you have an extension number or blah, blah, blah?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "That's what she told me." So instead she said, "Well, let me transfer you to the supervisor then." I said, "Okay." So she transferred me to the supervisor. And she transferred me to the supervisor. Well, she wouldn't come to the phone. So I left a message, and then I called back to Novo Nordisk, and the rep that answered the phone said she sent Miriam a message and said for her to call me ASAP. Thursday didn't hear from her. Friday haven't heard from her. So, Novo Nordisk, what is the issue? What is the problem? I mean, you cannot tell me that you're not receiving that many fax. It just doesn't happen. And why does your employees, they act like they don't know anybody? They act like they don't know anything. So what is the purpose of your company? Why are you pushing people off to the side? Do you know, if the way that my husband's taking his insulin, he's yet again having to taper down because he doesn't want to go to cold turkey on, because he could have a stroke or a diabetic coma. Is that what you people want? Why is this so difficult? I mean, what about the elderly people that need this help? They don't understand all this. And when our doctor's office, the nurse, she called the 28th, she was on hold with Novo Nordisk for 30 minutes. And the 17th, she was on hold for an hour, and nobody never came onto the phone. So what's the issue? Whether you guys realize it or not, Novo Nordisk, if these patients stop their insulin cold turkey because they ran out, because you didn't get off the rump and get these applications processed and get them through, what if someone dies? What if Daryl has a stroke or is in a diabetic coma because he didn't get his insulin? So you tell me, Novo Nordisk, if something happens to my husband, I'm going to be knocking on your front door with about 10 attorneys. I can promise you that. But are you telling your employees to say that y'all aren't receiving the fax? Are y'all telling your employees that they need to do that ever so many calls? I don't understand it. What is the problem? I find it very hard to believe that a fax machine, we didn't receive the fax, happens as much as it did. And I have to go in because I've got a notebook I kept all this in. I can tell you exactly the dates, the times, and who I spoke with, and who said that they didn't receive the fax. So, Novo Nordisk, you need to step up to the plate. I am going to keep going public with this, because if you're going to offer something like this, especially when people need it, y'all really need a better system. I do not know where you get your customer service from. I do not know how you train them. But apparently, one thing is certain. The most certain thing is you're telling your employees to tell the public that y'all did not receive the fax, so you don't have to ship out the medication. And if you're saying that that doesn't happen, prove it to me, because I promise you it does. I've got all of his here to prove that it does. And if you're a patient and going through the same trouble that we are, comment below or shoot me an email. There's a private Facebook group that we share information on it. And I cannot believe within that group and then the post that I made on Facebook, I am blown away at how many people this has happened to, and that it's okay for your employees to say, oh, we didn't get the fax. Or you're telling your employees to tell the public that. Which is it? I mean, you're a billion-dollar corporation, probably trillion. Can you not get better faxes? Really? Come the hell on. You know, they've got fax machines. I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna go there. I've got 2 HP right here I've had for years, and they've never missed a lick. Never missed a fax. So, I'm going to keep going public with it, and I'm going to get louder about it until y'all listen and come forward and tell us and correct the issue with your customer service. It seriously needs to be done before somebody dies. Period.